Good afternoon, traders. It is Wednesday, March 1st, 2017. U.S. stock market is closed. Man, what a day this was. Actually, a bad day on a day that shouldn't be a bad day. But let me just try and explain what happened. Um, I watched Donald Trump last night addressing both uh, both sides of the aisle, the entire Congress last night, and I was pretty amazed because he didn't sound like Donald Trump. He sounded more like Abe Lincoln, and that was the impression of a lot of people. And boy, the markets really liked that, and they have been kind of hesitant the last several days because they're worried about what he might say. Well, when he finally said it, the markets just loved it. And the stocks broke 21,000 this morning, like the first 2 minutes of the day, and they just keep going. You can look, it gapped up almost to 21,000 just on the open gap, and then it just keep going, and ended up closing up 303 points. I mean, that's a monster move. And you would think on a day that the Dow gains 300 points, we ought to have a really good day. Well, the problem is we were only in one position coming in today. If we could have been holding 20 positions, we would have made tons and tons of money. We were only holding one position, and that position did something I've never seen in my 25 years of trading, and I'm going to show that to you in just a second. But boy, was that a headache. So, what happened here with this huge move, this is not the kind of entering we like to do. We get this huge gap, and of course, we get into a ton of stuff, but the problem is when we get into it, it doesn't have very far to go, or, it's pretty well spent right at the beginning, and we ended up getting into 23 positions, a ton of positions, but we're only holding $2,000 positive open trade equity, and I see in the aftermarket that's already been whittled down to a slight negative. So this just isn't real good for this isn't good for our system. Uh, I will say that as far as the Dow goes, I'm going to say 21,000 is now the new floor. This thing's going to 22,000 and beyond. This is an extremely powerful market, and we're going to make money here. It's just we've been having really bad luck with how these moves evolve with respect to our system. But we're going to have our day in the sun, no doubt about it. This is unbelievable bull market, and it's going to keep going, folks. It's really going to keep going. Okay, now I got to show you the really bad news, and let me get this up here. Okay, I'm showing you Stone Energy, and this was the one stock we were carrying coming into today. And this morning, you can see this huge gap up, and I looked at our open trade equity, and it was showing on this one stock we had profits of over $200,000. That's pretty good, isn't it? The trouble was, it wasn't reality. What they what they did is they had a reverse 5.67 to 1 reverse split. Now, I've never seen a reverse split that's an odd number like that. So I saw this and I immediately thought it's a split. I didn't know. I just, my mind wouldn't process it. I knew it was a split, and I knew our system can't trade a split. The software doesn't know what to do about a split. So I exited this trade 3 minutes into the day, but I expected still we made a ton of money. It didn't make a ton of money. I'm going to tell you what happened. The statistics were this. I I bought 9,000 Stone Energy shares at 7.14 yesterday. And then I sold, because of the split, that weird numbered split, that 9,000 shares was reduced to 1,586 shares. And I sold those at 31.64, which was, by the way, a very good price. I'm selling like right up there, right up there. So I sold this thing, and he said, okay, I made a lot of money. No, I didn't make a lot of money. I ended up losing $14,000 in this. This thing, believe it or not, despite this gap, it was actually down 30%. And Stone Energy was going bankrupt because I didn't know any of this. And it took me about 4 hours to figure out exactly what happened, and it also took me almost that long to figure out I hadn't made any money. In fact, I had a very large loss, and so did any of my customers trading this today. And the thing is, the system doesn't tell you what to do. You can't trade the system with a stock doing a 5.67 to 1 reverse split. It doesn't work that way. So you just have to get out. And I've been getting email. I know some of the people are hanging on to this, and it just doesn't look good. I'm very happy to have just gotten out of it when I did, but it's still a big loss, and nothing's gonna make it right, unfortunately. And certainly the $2,000 in open trade on those 23 positions isn't gonna make it up. So call it a black swan day. There was no way of anticipating this, and those things happen, but it's pretty discouraging. Anyway, that's the way it went. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Thursday.